Joe,
how you
good
doing?
to see you again.
Good to see you.
We don't have a lot of time. I know you're busy here at the convention in Vancouver. So I'll get right to the meat and potatoes. Where were you when you first heard the cancellation news, and how did it hit you?
The producer came to my trailer.
Okay.
Kind of like right when I was trying to eat the kind of pork and applesauce, whatever it is they were eating that day, which was already hard enough to eat. And then they told me we were canceled, and I was like, it was a relatively banal, unceremonious moment. But I'm glad they told me. Well, I'm glad they told me. They could have waited. I think there might have been a debate there for a while about telling us after the show was canceled, after the show was finished, versus while the show was there. And I'm glad we were told beforehand. For one, it's the respectful thing to do. Yep. But two, it allowed us to kind of sew up the relationships with the cast and crew when we knew we weren't going to come back. So
one of those last episodes that you shot was Vegas.
Yeah.
Which was an awesome.
Was the last episode, technically.
Awesome episode. The last episode that you shot, second to the last air.
Yeah.
Awesome episode.
Very different.
So stylistically different for the show.
Yeah.
When you first saw that script, what'd you think?
I was psyched.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good, bold, creative place to go to. I wish we had gone there before, because I think it opened up a whole new dimension of possible storylines.
The alternate universe Shepard gives you the opportunity to not only play the character in a really different way, but get a death scene. How did you approach the death scene?
I died?
Or did you?
Really?
There's a little debate. Does Shepard die at the end?
I think he's pretty dead. I mean, it's a good way to die with Johnny Cash singing. You know.
I love that moment. That camera pull up.
That was a dusty moment.
Yeah. That look on your face.
It was a dusty moment.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy working with Robert. I really enjoyed working with. I just liked. I was sad, and it was kind of weird because we were spending a lot of time and energy on that show, and we really felt like, oh God, if we could just do this one more season, we could do these type of storylines and everything else. And so it was a great read. It was a great shoot, and I'm really happy with the result of it.
It's really interesting. The show that you shot, Shepard dies in it, but an alternate Shepard.
It was kind of
metaphorical.
Weird, 'cause it was the last thing we shot.
Oh, it was.
Well, wait a minute. No, we actually went to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And shot a few more scenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was essentially the last thing we shot. And yeah. Good,
so from Antarctica to John Shepard's death, this is quite a 5-year journey for the character. Where did you think the character was after 5 years? Was he the same guy? Had he changed?
I don't think he was the same guy. I think that he was a bit of a solo player, and I don't think that he really was thinking about what his potential was or what he can contribute to things. I think he was just gliding along, and he got caught up in an extraordinary circumstance. Ordinary guy in extraordinary circumstances that made him realize that he had a lot to offer, and then he had a lot of intense relationships that. And as sometimes sarcastic as he may be, I don't think anybody ever second-guessed like his loyalty and sincerity toward the other characters.
Those were relationships and friendships that were very important.
Yeah, but I think that he tried to hide it, and I think that was
afraid of attachment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that it was interesting because we had a lot of. We had a number of meetings in the producer's office about that. And my angle was always avoidance. The most interesting choice is hiding something as opposed to showing it. And so there was a little bit of a struggle sometimes where they wanted me to show more. And I said, well, I thought it was more interesting because you still see it it's just hidden. And I think that it became harder and harder over the seasons because you saw that he became familiar with the other characters and stuff.
And how about this Atlantis movie? Is that you think it's going to happen this year?
I gotta tell you, ask Brad and Robert tomorrow and see if you can get an answer. They may not have the answer. I mean, it may be a MGM thing. I know that I was at Sci-Fi last week, meeting about something else, and they were under the impression that we were going to shoot it.
So you're waiting for the call.
So to speak.
Are you excited about doing it?
I would love to get back together with my cast and crew and have a good time. I actually think it would be a lot more fun in that circumstance than the grind of putting out an episode every single week.
Yeah.
It's taxing, incredibly taxing. What I know now, I wish I had known that going into the show, and I could have been more mentally and physically prepared to handle it. But it took me 2 or 3 years to calibrate and find reserve energy and people management skills where I could actually do things better.